All right, guys, welcome back to the next episode of the Grand Prairie PD podcast. I'm your host, Nate, here with Whitney.
Hello.
We're here today with Officer Evan. See if they can splice
They're supposed to use first names?
Yeah, sorry. I'm supposed to mention that, yeah. First names only. No, don't give out your spouse's work address or anything like that. That's pretty much it. You are a lateral, and you and I actually came from the same place. Mm-hmm. How long you been here now?
7 years.
Okay. How long did you do in your previous department?
5. Well, yeah. I mean, I was like a month or two short of 5.
Oh, okay. You kind of took a little bit of a windy trail to get here. You were a cop for a while, then you stopped being a cop, and you decided you want to be a police officer again. You came here eventually, right?
Yep.
Obviously, that kind of would make you think something you really, wanted to do. Is this something you've always wanted to do?
You talking about being a cop?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I actually started out I graduated high school, started out in dispatch out in Wise County. And then I went to college at UTA, did dispatch there at the campus, and then I worked in the jail in Arlington.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Where are you from originally?
Decatur, out in Wise County.
Oh, okay. How is it? Do you feel like you have more of an appreciation for what dispatch does?
Yeah. Jail too. Jail's horrible.
Unless you're in Grand Prairie and then we need jailers and you should apply.
yeah.
Then it's great.
Hey, I told the guy yesterday to apply for the jail. So
yeah, dude, I always throw it out there because people are talking about I'm on the fence or whatever about getting involved in the profession. It's like, just do it.
Yeah.
It's like police light maybe.
Yeah, I did when they were doing the overtime down there. I did some. I don't think I made it off training though. I never got released.
You were just jacking stuff up in West County.
Yeah, I didn't know how to mop the floors, I guess.
Man.
I did the training out there too. I don't know if it was really for me.
Yeah, it's the jail's tough. It's like being stuck down there for 8 or 10 hours, however long they're doing.
It's like you're down there. You're there as well. So does it feel like you are also?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, you're really not supposed to be
Right.
using your phone
100%.
and stuff either.
Oh, I didn't know that. That wouldn't work for me.
Yeah. Like I did when I was at Arlington, we could only use it like in the break room.
Oh yeah, that sucks. But yeah, no, that's a good point. It does because you're down there, you feel like you're in a storm shelter or something. Just,
Yeah.
like waiting.
Basically in a basement.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite. So, what made you want to be a police officer or involved in the emergency services in general?
Man, I don't know. I early just wanted. I don't have like a specific thing that I was just always interested as a kid. I guess never really grew out of it. So
Just want to keep the Halloween costume on.
yeah,
Dressing up. That would be the game.
yeah.
Let's play cops and robbers.
we did. My friends played a lot of cops and robbers. And my best friend's also a trooper. He's a DPS trooper.
Oh, cool.
So
Well, why didn't you go that route?
I almost did.
Really?
When I was getting out of the oil field, he had convinced me. I was going to go back into law enforcement, and he convinced me to go DPS. And so when I was out in West Texas in Odessa, we were just living in a fifth wheel because we weren't staying there. And I had the whole 40, 50-page personal history statement filled out. It was all online. And the campground lost power, and it deleted all of it.
What?
And I called the recruiter. I was like, I'm not doing that again.
Lazy.
yeah. So I didn't do it again.
That's the reason.
That's
I
funny.
deleted, not doing it over.
That's the only reason I probably didn't go DPS.
That's funny.
wow.
Yeah.
But then you did the personal history statement to come here.
Well, yeah, I had to. I mean,
Yeah.
I may have already. No, I hadn't done it yet. I think I found. Well, so whenever I went. Before I went to Dallas, I was working in the Arlington jail. I applied here at Grand Prairie because I would see the detention officer, and or their transport officer all the time. He's like, "Yeah, go Grand Prairie." So show up for the test. I'm like, just turned 21, and this is '08.
Oh, okay.
And so I had applied. Well, I applied for Irving, and then they froze their list. Because they didn't have all the retirements because of the economy. And then I came and tested here, and they only had 2 spots open.
Oh, dang.
And they're like, yeah, we're going to freeze them, but we're going to do the test just in case, they come open or whatever. But they said, Dallas is always hiring, so go apply there. It's like, okay. And then the day I started, the day before I started the Dallas Police Academy, Grand Prairie calls like, hey, you still want to take the poly and stuff? I was like, mm-mm.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Nope.
That's funny.
Yeah.
When did you start in Dallas?
2009.
Oh, okay. Did you have family in law enforcement or anything?
No, I'm the first one.
Wow.
I think I had like an uncle on my dad's side that was like a constable or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no.
What about like military or any sort of person?
My dad and my brother is Air Force.
Cool. So you decided to just jump in with both feet in Dallas?
I mean, I tried to go to the Coast Guard, but they wouldn't take me, so I had a busted eardrum.
So you've always just been like about the water stuff.
Yeah.
Because you're in our lake unit now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a little bit. But so you were how old? You said you were 21.
21.
In Dallas. How was that being from Wise County going?
Culture shock.
Yeah.
City.
Didn't know. I didn't know people still lived with their parents at 40 years old.
Like
that wasn't a norm.
Yeah, there was a lot of that.
Yeah, it was definitely it was an awakening.
How was the geography for you? Because I know, like me, I trained in near downtown, and so it was just I went from like 2-lane roads to I was exposed to cities, obviously, but like not having to navigate them.
Yeah,
it was bad.
I didn't super struggle, but I had not remedial. I had one trainer that actually ended up helping because we had MapScos.
Right.
There was no computer. Maybe the computer stuff there, which their CAD system was really good with the maps, but they didn't let you use it in training.
Right. That's the one thing that's better about there that's better than here.
Yeah. They had the what was it? What was it called? Where like you could hit a call zoom.
Yeah.
And it would zoom you out and show you your route.
You'd be
and
like,
then it would zoom in automatically as you got closer to the call.
That's cool.
And it would mark you out on scene automatically.
Yeah, mark you out on scene automatically.
Yeah.
And the units, locations updated automatically.
Yep. Yeah, you could see where everybody was at.
Yeah.
All the time. But that trainer made me use MapSco. Like we spent a whole 8-hour shift. He's like, go here. And I had to use MapSco. And so that guy, and then like I did so long there on patrol and was like so into it just being young, like I knew block numbers in my head. I don't know that here in Grand Prairie.
No.
Like I still know block numbers in my head from Dallas.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. And honestly, maybe you subconsciously know some of the block numbers, but like they've never really made or broken anything for me.
Yeah. No, it was like our normal spots, like 3810 Bonneview was like Jack Ray Apartments or something. And like 62 was a dope house. Like,
yeah.
But like that whole block, you just knew.
No offense, guys, if you're not anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, right. That'll get cut out. It's fine.
They moved in and renovated the house. Like, hey, what's right?
Yeah, that whole area is probably super nice now.
Right. Yeah.
So what part of Dallas did you work in?
South Oak Cliff.
What? Just got to say this. I'm born and raised Oak Cliff.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Where
Entire life. South Polk, 75232, Greenspan, Camp Wisdom,
Yeah.
Carter High School. If I keep going, but
Now that might be that might be
Oak
west. Like
I
Channel
worked
4.
East Side, so I'm like I know some of those words.
Right.
I know Polk. I actually, I guess I could say it. I used to live at Keystone Polk.
Oh yes, see,
That's a rough
Polk.
intersection.
Yeah.
Man, it was so I did the Officer Next Door program.
Did you really?
Yeah.
How nice is that?
Yep.
And that was like ridiculously.
Yeah.
cheap
So
housing, right?
so the house we bought was $90,000, but half that loan goes into deferment, and so you only pay on the 45 on your mortgage, and then after 3 years, the other half is gone. So then you're.
Does that still exist?
Yes. Yeah. Firefighters, teachers, police officers.
Really?
But you can't own. There's rules to it. Like I think you couldn't have owned a house that was your primary residence for 2 years or something.
Ever?
No, I think there's a time limit on it.
Oh, okay.
It may have changed now. It's Good Neighbor Next Door, I think is what it's called.
Huh. Look at that.
It's a HUD program.
Yeah.
But yeah, we sold it. So we only owed $40,000. We sold it for $120,000.
Holy crap.
Man.
Yeah.
So you're driving around with all these luxury vehicles.
Yeah, I've never been house poor.
Yeah.
Never.
Because we bought a lakefront property in Conroe.
Conroe. Come on, you just naming places. I used to live in Conroe.
Really?
Oh, really? I never made it out there.
The Montgomery County CAC
You
is
just
where
had
I
a
worked
house.
for.
Just
Just
No,
a
I didn't even have a house. I
House.
just had property on the
Oh,
lake,
wow.
on Lake Conroe, I guess.
Lake Conroe, yes.
And
Nice. You should have
I was supposed to go out there. I was supposed to go out there for the company I was working for in the oil field, but they closed that shop down.
Oh.
And so I never. So then we sold that and we bought our house where we're at now, which was like you couldn't mortgage it.
Mm-hmm.
It was flooded. It's on the golf course, but it just completely needed to be renovated. So like I paid cash for it because that was the only way to get it.
For the house?
I sold my property in Conroe. Yeah,
Oh, we should stop
we're
talking about
we're
this.
talking like
I can tell by your hair you had money.
so I sold that property.
You're gonna
This
sell
was
it,
all
right?
from the Good Neighbor Next Door.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I paid. Was a funny story. The guy that owned it owed $26,000 in back taxes,
Oh.
and his son had. Story I got. His son had power of attorney, and they wanted to sell the house. And I think the son wanted 10. Just wanted to make 10,000 off of it because nobody could buy this house. The bank wouldn't mortgage it.
Right.
So he was 36, and it wasn't listed or anything. So he wanted 36, and then the person that told me about it used to clean the house for him. So it was like the cleaning lady. Well, she wanted to make 10.
Of course.
The
Of
hell?
course. I got to get a
So
cut
it's 46.
too.
Yeah, and she did. She made 10 grand off nothing.
Wow.
So I paid 46 for it, and then I turned around and did like a HELOC to remodel it,
That's awesome.
and I turned that into a mortgage.
Man.
So then our house payment's like $600.
God.
Man. I feel like this is turning into a nice financial
Yeah, can you
strategy session
Teach
too,
me how
right?
to be smart? Yeah.
Yeah, I was all, yeah.
That's awesome. All right, so before you became a real estate developer,
Yeah, right.
you're in Dallas. You're doing police work there. What was your experience in Dallas like? That's kind of a broad question.
I liked working in Dallas. I liked and I was younger, but I liked the big city police. I liked the guys I worked for. It was just the IA stuff was
Yeah.
what really made me leave. I mean, when I left, I had been under investigation for 2 years. And when I left under investigation.
Did you really?
I'd got with the associations. It was done. Like, it was literally, my allegation, I think, was either unfounded or not sustained. Yeah, like, I had gotten the association involved in mine because I was like, hey, I'm leaving. Like, I had turned in my 2 weeks. Like, this is the day. I think I even extended my 2 weeks, like a week or two, when the association got involved. And they're like, it's done. It's not sustained. They're just like, it's just not finished.
Yeah.
But like the investigation part was done. I was like, well, I can't stay any longer. I got to go.
Yeah.
And so actually when I resigned under investigation, I got a general on my F5 at TCOL.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
So, but like when I came here, I told them all that and all. I mean, it's,
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, at the time, they were used to seeing that from bigger departments.
yeah. And like you said, I think it's changed now. I don't know if but their IA was, well, it has to be big, I guess, but.
Yeah. Well, and they, I know now it's run stats, I think, exclusively by supervisors, and it's a different.
Oh, really? Yeah, because it was detectives then.
Yeah. Excuse me. You have any crazy stories or anything from Dallas?
You have
Nah.
to.
Yeah,
What?
that's why. Do not come in
I
here.
don't have anything
Don't
super
come
And
crazy.
then you
down.
said sell down. I mean, it's just.
You're so full of it.
That's so long ago, I don't even remember any of that.
Whoa.
God, you're a terrible liar.
Whoa.
Leonard's for sure not going to air this one.
He should not.
He's be like, yeah, he just sat down and said he worked in Dallas for 5 years, no big deal, and then came here and it's been fun.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
be
here.
in the
Yeah.
interview.
Everything's good.
What'd you do over there?
patrol, and then my last year and a half was CRT.
Oh, that's right. Because you actually worked with a buddy of mine over there.
Who?
I forgot what. Oh, we'll talk about it later. But he's not there anymore.
Oh.
And then you actually, if you worked there, did you ever work with that female officer who wound up going to Secret Service? And then she recently got in trouble with Secret Service. She was on Harris's detail.
No.
Okay,
These are very specific details.
Was she like deployment or CRT
CRT.
at South Central?
I think so. South Central or North Central? I think it was South Central, though. Because she worked with my buddy, too, and was part of the catalyst for him not being there
I
anymore.
only worked with one female, and I believe she's still there
Okay, never mind.
at Dallas.
This one's definitely not there.
But I had,
Anyway.
did you know Zane Murray?
Who?
Zane Murray?
I don't think so.
You were what? Where were you?
Southeast.
Oh, okay. I went to South. It's talking about going back to the culture shock at a trainer. She took me across the bridge over like CF1,
Oh, yeah.
and she was like, "You just need to see." That was like going into Channel 3 from Channel 7, and there were like people warming up by like trash barrels on fire. And I'd never seen that before. I was like, "Oh, this isn't just in the
really?
movies."
Yeah. Dude, so we left.
life.
I trained in Central, and I trained in Central, and we left, and I drove out of the station, and I don't know if you've ever been to Central, but they had all those bridges right behind there. I mean, just hundreds.
Yeah.
Hundreds. And that was my first exposure to that, too. And I was like, oh,
is this?
my God. And my trainer went scrolling through the calls and found a robbery that was holding from one of those people there. So he put us on it and said, go find them and take that robbery report.
Nice.
Okay. That's the first call I ever answered. And I got back in the car. He's like, so what do you think about that? I was like, who do you think did it? What do you think the details are? He's taking it real serious. And I started explaining what my super spun up rookie perspective is on it. He's like, yeah, no, it's all bull. It didn't happen. Okay, thanks. That's kind of my introduction to police work.
Yeah. The trainers were good. Yeah, there were some good trainers there.
Yeah. What'd you do after Dallas?
So when I had actually went. I didn't plan to leave police. I'd actually went down to Florida for a week and took I did so you could take like abbreviated academy, I guess like at a college. Mm-hmm. And I basically did I went down there for a week, did the defensive tactics, driving and shooting, and then they give you the study books, and they're like, hey, go home and study, and then schedule your state test when you want.
What?
So I went home, studied for like a month, and then I flew back out there and took the state test, passed it, and then now you can lateral.
Right.
So I was actually in the process for Tampa
Oh, wow.
PD.
Wow.
And I was in the background.
Did you just pick Florida? Or?
Tanisha used to live in Fort Lauderdale,
Oh, okay.
and she kind of wanted to go back. And I mean, I wasn't mad at it. I would have went to Florida.
I love
Yeah.
Florida. I still
Yeah.
tell my wife, like, if I ever start playing and then win the lottery, I will move to Florida the next day.
Yeah. Yeah, we used to. I can't convince her to go coastal now. I've tried.
Really?
Yeah. She just likes where we're at, I guess.
Oh.
But I've looked, it's always been a deal, like the Marine interdiction with Homeland Security. Mm-hmm. If you go there, you're either going first duty stations to Puerto Rico or the St. Virgin Islands
Wow.
for a couple of years. Yeah. So
Babe?
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. I have to go start a new
I
family.
have to serve my country.
Duty calls.
Yeah. But yeah, she's not about that anymore.
Maybe
so.
she likes, I don't know, storms, weather, family.
No, she's been through a couple hurricanes.
Okay.
And
Son? Like, what is there not to...
What?
What does she not like about it?
yeah, the kid, I guess, kind of changed stuff because both grandparents are where we're at, same town.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
gotcha.
yeah.
So
See,
family.
family is.
Yeah, she's like, we can't go anywhere until.
I thought she just really hated sand or something.
No. She's all about the coast.
Yeah, I absolutely love it, man. And I'm sure, I imagine you're kind of the same way. Just love the water.
Oh yeah, yeah. so like when Lance was here, he'd call me on my weekends. I'd be on our boat. He'd be like, "You just can't get enough, can you?"
Right, yeah. That's like, you ever talk to Carl? I can't believe he hasn't put in for y'all's unit.
Carl.
Bresh
Oh,
guy
he's big.
lives on the water.
Well, the schedule is most people's.
Well, and I
downfall.
think that's why he doesn't do it, because it would interfere with. Because I mean, every weekend, every weekend of the year, he's on the water.
Yeah,
If it's warm,
I've seen
if
him out
it's
on Joe
cold.
Pool a couple of times.
Yeah,
No, I don't do the cold very well.
I don't think he gets in the water. He just
It just kind of goes out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was in the process with them, and my buddy called me, my best friend, and he was like, "Hey, you want to make $200,000?"
Thought we were best friends.
Well, this guy, me and this guy, we grew up, when we were kids, we were next door to each other.
Oh, cool.
Oh, childhood. thing. That's cool.
Since we could converse with each other.
That's awesome.
And he called me. He's like, "Hey, you want to make $200,000 a year?" I was like,
I guess.
Sign me up.
But yeah, so oil field making $200,000 a year.
"Yeah."
How does that work? Is that as hard work as everybody says it is?
No. Well, it depends what you do. I was doing pressure control, and honestly, I was sitting in my truck most of the time playing Xbox or something.
I was gonna say, what
Yeah.
is that? What
You
is
had an
pressure
Xbox in your
control?
truck?
Do what?
You had an Xbox in your truck?
Yeah.
I mean, back in those days, that was an effort. Like, it wasn't like Xbox Portable or whatever. Like, it was.
No, and we had to have we had cell boosters on our trucks, but I don't think we were playing online or anything. It was just I was out. I would spend 7, 8 days on location, sleeping in an F-550. Yeah, it was
$200,000 a year.
Yeah, I mean, your salary. My salary was like $3,000 or $4,000, but you got paid on bonuses. It's like if you were on site 0 to 14 hours, it was like when I first got out there, it was like 600. I think was the bonus.
Yeah.
And then the 24-hour bonus, I want to say it was 800. But then if there were multiple wells on site, it was like per well.
It's a lot of money though.
Yeah, so if you were like 24 hours on site with 2 wells, it was like $1,600 a day.
God dang. A day?
A day.
This is you in your early 20s, or by that time when you mid.
No, I left in 2014. Yeah, I was like late 20s.
Okay. No, that's awesome though.
So why are you here?
Well, I made it the company when I first started 40, 50 guys, and I made it to the last 10 before they laid me off.
Oh, really?
Oil just went down. That was when everything kind of downturned. And that's a funny industry because when oil's high, they're charging, all the oil companies are charging each other an insane amount to do the work.
Really?
But then as it ticks down, they start lowering their prices. And then when it goes back up, they'll raise everything back up. It's just like a game, I guess.
It sucks for the little man though.
Yeah.
You're I have a job today, I don't have a job tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't bad. I mean, you put in hours there's 160 hours in a work week or something. I mean, I was probably doing, when I first got out there, I was probably doing 140 hours.
God.
And then I got with...
It's on Xbox.
Yeah. I got with a company where I was doing 24 on, 24 off, but I was driving to New Mexico every other day from West Texas.
Oh.
And I was probably putting in 120 hours.
God.
Not of work though. I mean, I when I ran my equipment, it was only an hour at a time, and then I'd have 3 hours off.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, so between that, now the lake unit, have you ever had a real job?
Where are we going to talk about work?
Worked
Just kidding.
as a trim carpenter for a while. Between the oil field and here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is that adjustment going from police work, obviously, to not police work? Now, I imagine the oil field, you're still around people who are scouts can be a little rough around the edges as far as the way you have to be super PC.
Man, there's a lot of people out there for the money. So I did the fracking side of stuff. I didn't frack, but that when they're fracking is the section that I was working. and there's people from there's other cops out there. There's like people that have left whatever their degrees in to be out there.
Just following money.
So when they send the explosives down to make the perforations in the earth, like the guy that's running that is called an engineer. Now most of those guys do have degrees, but they're making $300,000-$400,000 a year.
God dang.
There was one guy, I don't know what he did, but he was just a normal dude, and he was working for Halliburton. And so whenever they basically send the explosives down the pipe, they explode, they shoot perforations in the earth, and then they drop what's called a plug and they section it off. So like when they actually drop the plug and then shoot the perforations for that section, and then they pull the stuff out, and then that's when they frack it. They open up the perforations. Anyways, I say all that to say this guy, his only job was to put that plug on the tool that was going down the hole. And all that required was like a flathead screwdriver, like maybe inch-pounds of torque to make sure it was set right. And the dude made $300,000 a year.
Wow.
Like maxed out his 401k within the first quarter of every year.
That's awesome.
So, and like a lot of those dudes that make careers out of it, they'll have like a year's worth of salary put back. Because they know they're going to get laid off.
Yeah.
And they'll just take an entire year off.
That's kind of cool, though.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah, because your company called. When I applied here at Grand Prairie, the company called me, said, "Hey, you looking for work?" So they call their people back.
Yeah. Golly. I mean, I bet they answer, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Been waiting on your call. Okay, so.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you obviously police work, oil field, going back, how was it transitioning back into police work? Because obviously you have
Man, it was
departments.
not as hard as I thought.
Really?
The academy here wasn't bad. It wasn't like Dallas, especially the lateral one.
Right.
I was like the gray man in the Dallas academy. I don't think the coordinator and stuff knew my name till like 6 months in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Man.
I had the opposite experience.
Yeah, I was hiding out the whole time. Because I was like, what is this? What did I sign up for?
Yeah. Because they started, it was at that time, they were just like, let's see how much this can be like the military.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was like, he was like, oh, we'll break you down and then build you up. But the building up part didn't really ever
Didn't
come.
really take, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
one of my big hesitations in leaving was like that feeling of being in a smaller town. I was being like, because I was talking to somebody about my thought process in leaving. They're like, yeah, but you're just gonna spend the rest of your life going, yeah, I'm a Grand Prairie cop, but I used to be a Dallas cop.
Yeah.
And I found that as it turned out, it wasn't true. Like if I'm talking to another police officer, it'll come up, especially because I talk to so many laterals. But like as far as having that chip on my shoulder, it doesn't exist.
Yeah. But what's weird about that, talking about that, is like when I left, it's weird how many cops aren't doing cop jobs at but the lady in personnel, I think she was a sergeant or whatever, she's like, yeah, you'll probably be back in 2 years.
Yeah.
Really?
And I was getting out of law enforcement together, and she was like, most people do about 2 years and come back. And I did 3. And then I was back in law enforcement.
Yeah.
I kind of think I needed a break. Like I had been doing it since, mine was a little different. I had been doing it since I was like 18.
Right.
In some form of capacity. And I was just done with it.
Yeah, I get it. What's good too is even just getting off the street. It's good.
Yeah. I've really even on lake patrol, it's just another form of patrol. Like I've been patrol pretty much my whole 12
I don't know if I say that. Too loud?
I mean,
Because like a lot
in
of
the
guys
winter
who
we're still doing street stuff in the winter.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
but by definition, you're doing not lake stuff.
yeah, well,
So
we're
your
still assigned
patrol
down there.
time is like not lake.
And the water has felt like here recently, it's just patrol on the water.
It should be, I would think.
Yeah, like just
I'm just
with
saying I
calls
would.
and-
I'm just saying I wouldn't go to patrol detail and tell guys you're basically in patrol.
And then it's like,
They'll fight you.
like Lynn Creek Park is its own city itself in the summer.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's like on a given Saturday, 20,000 people in there.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah, if you average it the way they do, which it's probably a little under, they average like, I think 4.5 people per car that comes in.
Dang, so
And
what
you've
exactly?
got thousands of cars in there. Like on a busy weekend, we'll have 3,000 cars.
Oh wow. See now that does sound like it would be like patrol. Like
Yeah, and you would think you probably have like some staffing stuff where like if you can get some extra people out there to help out, it'd be nice.
I think when cricket,
they could pay 'em-
I think
they
the
could pay-
cricket
you could pay
stadium.
'em
I think the
overtime.
cricket stadium holds less
true.
people than Lynn Creek Park,
Yeah. Yeah, I believe that.
and that park is so popular. I don't. There's nothing out there.
No, it's a good time though. I'll take that. Take a week out there.
Oh yeah, I've seen you out there.
Yeah, that's a good time. But so, what do you do day to day? I mean, like you're the lake, everybody makes fun of y'all because you wear short shorts and you have long hair.
We don't wear short shorts.
Your hair is not. You're the shortest hair of all.
What?
Yeah, you do. I saw you unload from the truck yesterday.
In shorts?
Yes.
We have these pants.
Okay, I'll take a
Oh.
picture next time.
no.
I mean, we could have been coming up here. We're at the PSB.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably going to work out.
Okay, short shorts.
He's gonna take a picture.
We have to
Yeah.
stay physically fit. All right.
And you were all matching.
Oh
No.
Yes, you were. Yes, you were.
matching shorts.
Matching shorts.
Right, shirts, shorts. You're all. You're
Oh,
all,
we
all
probably
wearing
came
all
back
black.
from swimming then.
I'm just saying, it looked. They
I mean, we have to stay in swim shape.
It's true, and show it off. But yes, obviously, y'all, the lake unit, it kind of has a, I wouldn't say reputation because it's not a reputation. It's just a people think the lake it's a fun time. It's a recreational location. But
Yeah.
obviously, you can make anything into a job.
Yeah.
But what does work look like for y'all when you show up?
Winter or
Monday.
summer?
Summer, lake time.
It's pretty much, we generally just get there, grab a bite to eat, then load the boats with the dive gear and stuff, and then you're on the water for 8 hours.
Really? Well, so what y'all doing on the water?
Making like boat safety stops, answering calls. Like we'll get like rescue calls and then, jet skis driving crazy. We make, on average, between both boats, we probably make about 40 stops a day. And that's
40
not,
stops?
yeah.
Wow.
And most of that is like, almost like your normal traffic stop. Like, hey, do you ever drive? I mean, we write tickets, but we run people, go through the whole safety inspection, all that. So we stay busy on the water. I mean, there's like,
So what's your reason for contact? Like, obviously, speed.
you don't need one.
Really?
You can stop any boat you want for a safety inspection.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Now you have to be Marine Safety Enforcement Officer, which is through Texas Parks and Wildlife.
Oh, okay. So
Like,
not
we get our
any police
powers from the
officer.
game warden.
That makes sense.
Yeah, we don't do any of the game stuff. But you still have like you'll see people riding jet skis with no life jacket, going under the bridge on plane.
What?
Like full speed going under the bridges. Like those
Oh,
are like
okay.
slow. Just like you can't make a wake within like 50 foot of another boat or an object. So like you'll get like hazardous violations that you'll stop people for, like reckless operation, stuff like that. And then you can do all the safety inspections you want pretty much.
So how does that work? Like you turn on lights and sirens like you do a car?
Just
Right.
lights usually.
Oh, okay. Do y'all
Yeah,
have sirens?
we have sirens, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is like slow
Yeah.
down.
Have y'all ever had someone run from you
Yes.
in a boat?
Yep.
How did that
How
work
far
out?
can
You're-
you
Well,
like-
it's the same as
You're not
it's the
taking
same
the-
as running in a car,
No, it's not.
but it's not going to work out well for them.
Because you can go like 2,000 miles in a
Yeah.
car.
Yeah, the last one we had.
You're in a body of water. Like, where are you going to
Yeah,
Yeah.
they generally try to hit the shore.
Oh, and
like
bail
the
on
last
foot.
one we had was a jet ski, and it was at night. And I actually didn't arrest him for it because we had to. So
Is it a felony?
Yes, yeah. The Boston Whaler has the lights under the canopy,
What's a Boston Whaler?
the boat. So it's like
Thank you.
the smaller
Y'all-
boat, the
y'all
smaller
nicknamed
boat,
it?
the white one.
Y'all nicknamed it?
No, that's a brand.
Oh.
I don't know. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Sorry. Well, sorry, silly land dwellers we are.
Right. The land. is
Everything
what
gets
I'm
nautical.
With
on a
our
boat.
with our appropriately length shorts and
Yeah.
closed-toed shoes.
That's OSHA safety.
So
But anyways, I had to turn off the lights because we couldn't see at night. And we still just followed him with his iron off. Then like he gets off, whatever, hop off, and our body cameras are going. We throw on our vest or whatever. And he's like, yeah, I thought y'all stopped chasing me because the lights turned off. And it's like,
Not wrong.
all right then.
You let him
Here's
go?
your tickets. Yeah, I let him go. I wasn't going to court on that. I had to turn off my lights.
Oh my God, I can hate you.
It is what it is.
Have
dude.
you ever made an evading in a boat? Or is
Yes,
that was called evading
I
in a boat?
have, but it wasn't. I wasn't in a boat. It was a stabbing call, and we got there in the park, and I chased it. When we rolled up, the guy ran. I chased him on foot, and he hopped in a boat and drove off. Oops. And I was like, "Hey, stop!" And they kept going, and then we went around. They went to the marina, got in a foot chase with him in the parking lot, and I arrested the driver of the boat for evading.
Whoa, this is a lot happening
Very
all
nice.
at once.
See, dude, we get into some stuff every now and then.
Oh, that's why I say it's a. I don't even think it's a perception because of anything y'all do or don't do. I think it's just when people think
It's
of
just
the
a
lake,
lake.
they're like,
Yeah.
I have fun at the
Fun,
lake.
Yeah.
good time,
Yeah.
boating.
Which we do have
It's-
fun.
Yeah. But
I mean,
there's
you
like,
should.
yeah. Oh, dude, I wish I could. I would go to your unit. Well, we talked about it. I'd go to your
Yeah.
unit in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
the schedule.
the schedule doesn't work.
What is
for-
the schedule like? What is that?
So
Anytime
it's
you've ever woken up and you want to have fun, they're at work.
basically, yeah, summertime.
Sorry.
Our schedule's weird. So like we have a off season, a mid season, and then a season. In the off season, we're supposed to be able to work like either Monday through Thursday or Tuesday through Friday, and have weekends off. But we're having to work some weekends this winter, so it's kind of weird. But from basically October to end of February is off season, and then we pick up in the mid season and we work one weekend, either work a Saturday or Sunday, noon to 10. And then when Memorial Day hits, that's our first full weekends, and then we work every weekend and every summer holiday until October.
Oh yeah.
Which the holidays also include Easter, Mother's Day, and Father's Day in the mid-season.
Man, yeah.
So like
I
you
don't
literally
care what the
you work Mother's Day, or Easter, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day, and you're working like 15-hour days.
Yeah.
Man.
Yes.
Yeah, depending on how it falls.
Yeah.
Right.
But
So-
dude, I'd be fine with all that. It's just my kids and the sports.
Family life
the
and
weekend.
Yeah,
activities.
I think
and
I
last
couldn't
summer
do
I
that.
missed every one of my kids' t-ball games.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
They're all. I make the soccer sometimes early. Sometimes I make the soccer ones.
yeah.
So
No,
It's a
can't do it.
sacrifice. Yeah.
that's why we ask for the weekends in the winter.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like it's not unreasonable.
Now, if my kids flip flopped and played like a winter sport, I'd do that. Like, so I would,
Yeah, like what sports go on in the winter?
hockey seems
Indoor
like
roller hockey.
maybe. Oh, that's a cool. Well, you need ice.
Yeah.
No, they have
Football.
roller hockey.
Oh, I
Like
was just referring
skates?
to like they have real hockey around here too in Mansfield anyway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the schedules, and that doesn't include like the call outs.
How often does that happen? What are you getting called out for?
We had
Oh yeah,
this
like
last year
rescue
we had
somebody
18,
just.
18 call outs.
Dang.
Well, now we're getting called out for boat tows.
But these are like a rotation, like an on-call schedule.
What's
How
a boat
does-
tow?
Like if to go tow a stranded boat.
I'm stuck in the water.
Yeah, exactly.
Like cars.
That started, and
I'm
they used to
stranded.
do that, I guess. And I looked back.
They're paying you overtime for this.
Yes. I looked back when they were doing it heavily, like when Brandon was down there. They had 40 call outs in 1 year.
Dude, that's awesome.
And that was that was
That's thousands of
like
dollars.
that was the lake
Because they're
not
stuck.
busy as it is now.
Right.
Like we had, they started that at the end of this summer. I don't remember what month, but there was only like a month left. It was like maybe around Labor Day, and we got 4 or 5 call outs off that. But yeah, we're on 2 guys are on call at a time. But if it's a dive, like a drowning or something, everybody's coming.
Right.
So we get a lot of call outs for diving in like other cities and stuff too. So
That's cool. How is
Yeah.
it? Because obviously, I would imagine diving in a lake is a lot different than diving in the ocean.
yeah, you can't see anything.
How is that? How much does that suck?
It's not to me, it's a challenge, but sometimes it sucks. Like we were diving.
Like he's not
My last
claustrophobic. Like
Yeah. Well, so we wear a full face mask, and like in the winter, like right now, we're fully encapsulated. So like dry suit, dry hood, dry gloves, and then the mask goes on over that. So that in itself, you could, if like you struggle with claustrophobic stuff, that could do that. But even being underwater and zero visibility will make people claustrophobic.
that's what I was thinking because I'm not a claustrophobic person.
Yeah.
But if you put me 20 feet underwater and I can't see anything, and man, that,
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
claustrophobic either, but about, depending on the search we're doing, about that 30, 40-minute mark for me. And it's different for everybody. I'll start getting vertigo. Like
okay.
you'll just kind of lose the sense of direction. If we're not, especially if we're not searching a line like a rope, it'll just kind of feel like you're spinning.
Dude, what worse thing to be feeling claustrophobic is then think you're reaching up and you hit the ground and you're like, oh god.
Oh no.
Yeah. I've never, so they do talk about that, but I've never had it where I didn't know where up was.
Really?
But we're on the ground a lot. So at least you have that
That's true.
orientation.
Yeah.
Because we're not like recreational diving, like buoyancy, floating around looking at
Right.
fish.
Yeah, 'cause you're
Like
looking
we're
for
usually
something.
in the mud.
So what are y'all looking for? I mean, obviously bodies.
We've recovered a lot of guns.
Really?
In the last
that
couple,
makes
we've recovered
sense.
over 20 guns off the bridges.
Dang. Do y'all ever find out what the deal is with them?
They're sending them to DPS now
Okay.
to be shot and logged.
I mean, the assumption would be like
A
used
couple
in
of the
crimes,
20
I would
were
assume.
the couple of the 20 were stolen.
Okay.
I'm sure most of them are stolen. I mean, we've recovered out of the 20, 8 of them were probably high points, maybe more.
That makes
Majority. And then the last one I recovered a couple weeks ago was a sawed-off shotgun. That was like
Wow.
legit handle cut off, barrel cut off, and then electrical tape back together.
Right.
Single shot.
Man.
Now you're not going to get anything off that.
No.
But it's definitely used for whatever. And then it's like if you find like the slides or the lower or barrels, it's like taken apart. That probably killed somebody.
Yeah.
Like we did, DeSoto called us for a capital murder. The guy said that they ditched the guns in Joe Pool on Bridge 2. So we told him, it was like, yeah, we'll dive for it, but you've got to bring him out here. And so they got him out of jail, brought him out here. We put him in a car, drove him across the bridge and told him
The
to throw
suspect?
rocks. Yeah, the suspect. Like we told him to throw rocks when he thought he threw the guns. And then we had the boat down there and marked where the rocks were hitting. And then went back out there and searched that area and found the magazine, a slide, and one of the lowers.
No kidding.
Yeah. So it was one was a Glock and one was a Taurus.
That's cool.
So, I mean, I don't think they needed all the guns. They just need to find like some. But he took them apart. They were using a ag robbery, which is why it was capital murder. They shot the guy. But he said that they took the guns apart, rolled them in a towel, and threw them. And then I guess when they hit the water, they kind of spread out.
Right.
So we've done that. We've looked for cell phones, laptops, all kind of small stuff.
What is that kind of your favorite part of the job or?
Yeah, the evidence is fun. I've recovered a couple bodies. Not as fun.
Like randomly? Like you were looking for those things, you're like, oh crap, this is a body.
No, like drowning.
Oh, okay.
victims.
Yeah.
How does that? Because I've always, I mean, the ocean kind of makes a little bit more sense as far as like it's powerful and it's very much a living thing. Like it is fighting against you a lot of times. But how do most people want them drowning in a lake? As stupid as that sounds, like it's generally calm.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no current.
Right.
Like you'll see on Facebook people like, oh, I got caught in the current. Like there's not. You know, a lot of them just poor swimming abilities.
Really?
Maybe
Yeah.
cramp up. Maybe too much alcohol.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, we had several like they jumped off the boat while I was moving, and then didn't resurface. And
They probably knocked themselves out.
yeah, or like if they jump off the back, maybe getting hit with the spray of the boat or whatever, the jet,
Yeah.
taking on water, panicking. Some of them are like medical too.
Right. Yeah.
We had one guy. I think he jumped in and then had like a cardiac
Oh, that sucks.
deal. and then we've had a couple strange, like Cedar Hill had one, and it wasn't even that deep. I think it was, well, I say not that deep, but I think we ended up recovering like 8 feet. And he just, the mud's soft over there. I mean, there was some speculation that maybe got stuck in the mud, like fell off. But he didn't know how to swim. So like a lot of these guys will not know how to swim, and they'll get on a tube and then fall off the tube.
Dude, I can't wrap my head around that. I know how to swim, and I get nervous. Well, my kids know how to swim, and I get nervous with them near the water.
Oh, yeah. If we're in the lake, like on our personal time, life jackets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Especially if you're going in the water.
Yep.
My kid's a really good swimmer, and I was like, nope,
Yep.
life jacket. Because you never know, like just like getting a cramp could
Yeah, that's true.
could take you down. But so yeah, there's been 2 that have been wrapped up in like the hydrilla, so it's just like basically a plant that grows in the water, and it's
Interesting.
super thick.
And you get stuck in a plant and drown.
Yeah,
Man,
That's scary.
yeah.
it is.
Golly.
Like, what?
What kind of plant is it? Like, it's not like a,
It's
like a giant
it's like
Venus
a
flytrap
weed.
or-
It's like a weed,
Oh,
and they can
okay.
grow like. They can't grow out of the water, but they'll grow like up to 9 feet tall, I think.
Golly.
And they just
Like
get
right
caught.
now, yeah, you don't always have it. I forget why it grows. But yeah, it's like real thin weed, and it'll wrap around you. Like we were recovering a car out on Beltline, and the pond was like full of hydrilla, and I kept getting wrapped up in it. And I wish somebody got a picture of it because it'd been cool. But I came out and I looked like the freaking swamp monster or something. Like I just had
yeah.
hydrilla like all over me,
Man.
and it
That's funny.
stinks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah, it does. Like when I was on the car, I was like kind of searching around it, just make sure there wasn't anything around it. And I couldn't even swim. I was like pulling myself on the car to get all the way around it.
Golly. That
So
makes
that's
sense.
the stuff's super thick.
Yeah. I'm saying you immobilize people's limbs. I mean,
Yeah.
they're going to sink.
Like the guy that drowned out here at the pond, that's what that was. And like
Oh,
we couldn't
really?
even do search patterns because we kept getting wrapped up in the hydrilla.
Dang.
Yeah. So it makes it
Couldn't
even
believe I
more
heard about that.
challenging.
So, like, I know in patrol you'll have like your watch commanders or whatever come up and be like, "Hey, we got a bunch of burglaries in this area. What are y'all doing about it?" Or what, we're going to do this to try to cut down on them. What do y'all like? What do they say to y'all about drownings? I mean, what are you supposed to do?
Oh,
Or is it just one of those?
there's no correlation. Like we could do. I mean, dude, the last 2 years we've had over 1,000 boat stops for the year,
Right.
and
Like,
I would.
like, how
I
much
would.
more
Now
y'all
I
gonna do?
will say we have prevented drownings from being out there all the time,
Really?
for sure. But I mean, if somebody's gonna get drunk and jump off the boat, you can't stop that.
Right.
Now you can check boats for life jackets and make sure everybody's got their life jacket, but that doesn't mean they're gonna wear them.
Right.
And then majority of our drownings are from shore.
Really?
Yeah, like Swim Beach or just like, shoreline. All in Lynn Creek, Cedar Hill had several.
Well, I think. that
Advice, maybe?
Yeah. Do you have any advice for people? Not necessarily. They don't even have to be aquatically inclined. Just
For
like people who are thinking about being cops.
I mean, I did tell
I've
the kid that I told to go to the jail. I mean,
Oh, yes, the
I told him to go to the
jail.
jail
Okay,
and told him
start
not to get a criminal
somewhere.
justice degree. I mean,
Okay.
Okay, so don't go to college for criminal justice. Some people would say be safe. Some people would say don't get hurt. Yeah.
got nothing.
All right, guys. Well, that is a peek inside the life of an oil man and a nautical police officer. So, all right. Well, until next time.
Bye.
Yeah, definitely not getting aired.
Fuck no.
I'm gonna call you in a month. Like, hey, why didn't they air mine?
I know exactly why.